Sorry, I forgot you guys can hear me without the piston button. Emergency broadcast here. I'm livid. I'm pissed. I'm giving the stream a second here for maybe a couple people come in. Let me just see if I can change my settings. That's all right. Yeah, I really have to handle this. It's a big problem. Huge problem. I didn't shave. Did I shave? Let me shave real quick. Alright, gotta look presentable here, right? Shaving time. Alright. There we go. Alright. I'm livid. You know, I want to start off by saying that I love the messages of Andrew and Tristan Tate. I do. And I like SNEAKO's channel. He's very progressive. He makes fun of the same kind of stuff I do. I could get along with these guys. I wouldn't mind doing broadcasts with them. I love their message. But, as you all know, the biggest thing that I hate when people don't think properly. Like, I hate it. So, I'm going to start here in a second. Do I have anybody at all? Probably not, that's fine. I'm a low-key brokey, that's fine. Alright. Alright. Gonna start here in a second. Alright, I'm live right now. Alright. So I'm gonna play this clip. I'm gonna pause and talk about it. This just upsets me greatly. I can't tell you how much it upsets me. You're gonna see it in the way I talk and the way I handle this. The Tate brothers and SNEAKO's still salvageable. He's talking up to Tristan because he looks up to Tristan, so he uses the pretty words that he uses because Tristan's on the thing. And he doesn't want to be seen less, so he's just pandering to what Tristan's doing. SNEAKO's reaching out to Tristan because he's lost. SNEAKO wants to have direction on what he believes. He apparently doesn't know how to read a book. I'm not sure. But Tristan doesn't have any answers. Obviously, I've watched this part right here, but we're going to go ahead and tackle it right here. Okay.
And I've been talking about God more on my stream, and I think it's better for people to follow that. But I'm not sure what it is. I haven't fully...
He thinks it's better for people to follow God. What? All right, let's go.
Decided what religion I want to join. If I do, I have a lot of a huge...
What religion he wants to join. It's like picking what? What do I want for dinner? What do I feel like having for dinner tonight? What? Is that really how we go about things? Really? Is that how we find out the truth about the world, SNEAKO? By deciding which religion we want to go into? Don't you think it should be based on something other than your feelings?
Christian and Muslim audience, but what do you think God is?
Please, Tristan, give me the answers to life, because I'm lost and confused. I can't read a book. I don't know how to think properly. Help me. SNEAKO, man, no offense. I love your work. I really do. I really think that you should not be afraid to look into something, because you obviously have not in this topic. And who's going to better be able to show you than me, Ted the Atheist? Who?
See, that is a very tricky question.
Yes, it is a tricky question, is it, Tristan? Yes. But see, SNEAKO here thinks that you can give him some good fatherly advice because you're so successful and you have so much bling bling. Right? So you're his role model right now. He's waiting for your answers. Let's see what you have to deliver.
For me. That is a very tricky question for me. I initially became... So my religious story is as follows. I was a young kid. I moved to England at 8 years old. I came from Indiana. All of my... Because I'm mixed race, and, African Americans are overwhelmingly Christian. I used to go to those churches.
Blacks, not African Americans.
With the big fat black mamas clapping and singing and shit.
Hallelujah.
I was the whitest man, and I was the whitest little boy in those churches when I was a kid. And I wasn't educated on religion that much. When I was 8 years old, I believed that, like a lot of people in isolated parts of the world do, that before the internet especially, that everyone believed in God and everyone knew the story of Jesus and everyone was the same religion. I had no concept of what a Muslim was. I had no concept of what an atheist was. And when I was thrown into school in the United Kingdom, I was going to school with Sikhs, Muslims, Hindus, etc. And I was like, whoa, these people believe in a God that's not God, the real one? That's fucked up. So as a young kid, I read the Bible, I read the Quran, I read the Guru Granth Sahib, the Sikh holy book, and I used to engage in debates with the Muslim kid. I remember his name was Wakass. Shout out to Wakass if you're watching this. And I used to engage in debates. I'd tell him why his religion was wrong and why mine was true, and he'd tell me why his religion was true and mine was wrong. And we'd have these debates in school, and I eventually found myself slipping into atheism. I became an atheist at maybe 12, 13 years old.
Me too.
I no longer cared for religion.
Okay, so both of them say that they became an atheist at some point. But they didn't become an atheist because they actually looked at the topic, right? And they'll express this while they talk on and on. Like, as you can see, he's telling us his background and stuff like that, and how it came back and forth. They're jumping from 2 points between A and B, not because of intellectual prowess, right? Because that's how you should be doing it. Like, if we go around asking people, hey, how do we know Tinkerbell exists? Are you going to tell people about your life story and then, oh, I felt like this, so I started to feel like Tinkerbell isn't real? Like, why are we talking about your life story and how you feel when we're trying to answer the question of whether the Tinkerbell exists or not? Should we not be looking at Tinkerbell? What evidence do we have that Tinkerbell is there, that she's got that little pouch of pixie dust? Like, where is she supposed to live? How can we go there and observe her existence? Do I really not have anyone in my stream yet? Really? Pouch of pixie dust. That's fine. It's early. Do test message out there. All right, let's continue.
And I believed that, religion wasn't for me, and, you don't need God in your life to live a very happy life, until I started to look around at what other atheists were doing. Imagine joining a team of people, essentially, and looking around at your teammates, and you see people bragging about how many abortions they have, people with fucking purple hair talking about how...
Dude! Can I not say more than that for people who believe in a God? Right? How about 9/11? Oh, how about people who flew the planes into the buildings? How about the wars we had in the past? Of countless people killed, and those were believers. And they did it because you didn't believe. You're seriously going to talk about a number of people who happen to be atheists who have purple hair and have abortions? You're going to use that, right? What I think killing other people, okay, is a little bit something worthy of paying attention to than purple hair. Hi, Tina. So, really, Tristan, for you to say this, you have to ignore all of history. Okay? Not only do you have to ignore all of history, you have to not actually tend to the topic at hand. Just like my example just now, you're not looking at Tinkerbell and where her magic comes from, where she lives, how can you find out evidence for her existence. You're looking at your feelings and the people around you and how they act. We're going to get more into this in a minute because I'm going to tear this up. Let's go.
Being a minor attracted person, or as I like to call them, a pedophile, is a sexual orientation. And I was looking around at how atheists were behaving. I thought, whoa. Maybe I've missed a trick. Maybe there was something to this God shit that I dismissed as a young boy.
Yes. Yeah, let's go ahead and think just because some people are atheists and they got purple hair and they're pedophiles or something like that, that somehow that has something to do with atheism. Do you, SNEAKO and Tristan, do you even know what atheism means? Do you know what an atheist is? An atheist is someone who's without belief in a God. That's it. It doesn't tell you to dye your hair purple. It doesn't tell you to be attracted to children. Okay? It doesn't do these things. Exactly. Right, Tina. He's ignoring everything, and he's basing his conclusion on only what he's experienced right now, right? Like, this is what Tristan has experienced now. But does he have the education to know what happened in the past? Okay, Tristan, you've got all this money. You've got cars, more money than I'll ever hope to have. I'll be lucky to have a happy retirement, free from worry, right? I'll be lucky to just get by, right? That's just, you've got it all, okay? But why don't you have critical thinking skills? Why can't you see the error in your thinking? Watch this video because I'm going to help you. This is class time, and I'm your professor. Professor Ted the Atheist, okay? I want you two to be very successful in what you're doing. I approve of the messages you two are giving out. I'm looking at both of you in your eyes on the video here on my big screen. So I'm not looking at the webcam. I'll look at the webcam here, but I'm looking at both your eyes. I want to give you guys the tools that you need to be very successful. And the tools that you have right now are lacking. SNEAKO, you look like you're salvageable. You're asking questions because you want to know. I think you're pandering to Tristan's viewpoint because you want to be on the in crowd. And I'll probably never be on the in crowd because I'm very skeptical and I'm very intense on the requirement to be truthful. And if you really did think about it, you would see that I would be an aid in your viewpoints. I would be something to value. Have me around to listen to me is going to only help you if your messages of what you want the world to see, if you're really truthful about that. And let's continue.
And I did further research.
Yes, Tina, that's correct. The pedophiles, the Catholic pedophiles. Tristan, did you not think about them? Oh, but you didn't experience that. You only experienced the purple hair. So that's the only thing that's actually tainting your brain, like getting you to think that maybe atheism is bad. The purple hair and the fact that some atheists are pedos. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? See, this is what I'm against. People not thinking. Let me take my phone off my charger. We all have one of these, right? Why aren't you using it? Why? It's right here in your hands. Google's at your fingertips. You have questions, it's right here. Why am I having to make a stream on this, on something you should know and is easily sought after and researched? Why? Why do I have to do this?
And I don't believe that any holy book that I've read in the world, I'm not trying to offend Christians, Muslims, Jews, Sikhs.
What about the atheist? Oh, you don't want to offend them, but you'll offend atheists who don't have purple hair. I've never had an abortion. I'm not a pedo. I'm not. What else did he say that he researched? I don't know. Oh, but you want to make sure that you don't offend them. Why? Because they actually can do a call to arms, whereas atheists are just like not really. Whatever.
I believe any holy book that I've read in the world is perfect. I believe that they're all man's interpretation of the thoughts of God. Certainly.
How about here's a donut for you. How about everything was written by man? How about God was pulled out of mankind's butthole? Have you thought about that, Tristan? SNEAKO, have you considered that? Have you considered that the word God means nothing and was pulled out of our butt to answer questions we don't have the answer to yet? Right? And later on, SNEAKO says that it makes him feel more alive. We're going to touch on that later.
And I'm an Orthodox Christian now because I live in an Orthodox Christian country. This was the religion that was most accessible to me. It was it's where the churches are.
That's why he's a Christian, because Christianity was accessible to him, right? But if he was born in Afghanistan, he'd be Muslim, right? If he was born in some Scandinavian places or places that very much atheistic in the countries, which I may add have a lot less crime rate, maybe he'd be an atheist because he wouldn't be indoctrinated or brainwashed the way he was. And yes, you were indoctrinated. And you were never taught the skills to come to a truthful conclusion. Neither one of you were. I applaud your work. I love both of your work. I'm not saying this from a place of hate. I want you both to be successful. I just want you to conquer this area of your life because it's just a big lie and it doesn't help anyone. Yeah, it's like exactly right. And that's what it takes. It takes gullibility and ignorance to be a Christian, to be a Muslim, to believe in a God. Those are the two things I can know about someone when they tell me they'll believe in those things. They are ignorant and they are gullible. In at least that one area in their life. Those two things in that one area. It's guaranteed. I can say that. I can defend that. I can talk about that easily. That's not an attack on you guys. It's not an attack. Those are descriptive words. Okay? I mean those as descriptive words, not to slander you or attack you in any way.
It's where the priests are and the pastors are. I made a bunch of friends within the Orthodox Christian Church. I spend a lot of time in Dubai. I have a massive respect for Islam. I look at the way that their daughters behave, the way that they run their families. The same with Orthodox Christianity, the way their daughters behave, the way they run their families.
Like this is the problem with Tristan's logic. He's equating with the outcome of how a child is acting to a religion. But are we not talking about a different culture? Like, I personally respect the heck out of Indians and how well they raise their children. I think Indian women are very good people, very well behaved, and have good, strong family values. Do I think some belief in a God is responsible for that? No. I'm smart enough and educated enough to know that culture and how you think about things is reflected in that. Do you think that you need to have do you really think you need to have imaginary friends in order to be able to think certain ways about how to raise your children and teach them right from wrong? No, because morality is not governed by religion. Religion takes morality from the populace and they take credit for it, but they don't give it. They just take the credit for it. We're the ones who have the morality. We're the ones who define that. We're the ones who are making good children based on what culture we're in, right? And how we think, right? America is not a good place to gauge good family values. For the most part, no. Oh, but we're very Christian here, right? So why aren't we? I don't understand. Let's just continue.
There's something to this. This is so much better than atheism.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah, it's better than atheism. How does atheism? How does that have to do with raising poor children, with bad children? Tell me.
I can't advise you on religious matters because I'm not a religious scholar.
This is not a religious question, Ed. I don't mean to cut you
What do I
off.
think? Yeah.
I don't think it's a religious question. I think it's more of a philosophical question because my journey to finding God was pretty much exactly like yours. I grew up Christian and then I became an atheist because I was a big debater kid and I was like, why is the priest going to tell me all this stuff? He has no life experience. And then the same thing, I just left New York City, but New York City is a very godless place. People running around with purple hair, like literally doing dances for how many abortions they've had, and they're changing their gender. The Pride Month too is like one of the biggest sins. If you think about it, Pride is one of the biggest sins. They have a whole month to celebrate it. So there's all this godless behavior, and you're seeing how it's changed. And so I would say my journey to finding God's the same as yours. I look at religious people, and I'm like, there's something to this.
So they both just they're both just admitted. Sorry, Tina. What is this? Yeah, that's correct. They both just admitted that their journey to atheism and, well, let's start in the beginning. Both of these two individuals, SNEAKO and Tristan Tate, were both born atheists, right? We know that. Everyone is born an atheist. They were indoctrinated. They were brought to church. As Tristan says, he was brought to church. He was indoctrinated to believe in this stuff. He stopped believing it, and then he started believing it again, right? So flop, 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 right? But none of those flops are because, oh, hey, let's look at how we should reason and logic about this. What is a God? Why should I believe in this? What, right? Because what are you doing? You're asserting something exists in reality. A thing needs to exist. Should you really be looking at your feelings and the actions of others, okay, as a reason to believe in that thing? Do you really think that having imaginary friends means you're going to make better kids? Tina in my chat here says, religion is not responsible for the success of my children. I am. Right? She doesn't need imaginary friends to raise good children. You know? If she doesn't have good culture around her, she's going to create it herself and her family. Other places have better culture and better family values than perhaps America does, and they're going to consistently create better children. Okay? You do not need an imaginary friend for that. And this is just, I would have more respect for what they're trying to accomplish if they actually went about it in a more logical, reasonable way. Because what you're doing here is you're telling people not to think properly. That's what you're doing. Tristan says he doesn't want to tell people what to believe, but he actually is. He's telling people not to think properly. Right? Don't use logic and reason. Don't look at whether it shows to exist. Look at your feelings, right? And the same thing with SNEAKO. Look at your feelings, right? How is that helping anyone? We're not arriving at answers. We're not solving problems. And the more that you lie about the world we live in, the harder it is to solve the problems within it. Because when we go to solve problems, what do? We need to represent the truth, what shows to exist. Only then can we come up with a solution that actually matches that problem realistically, without the fiction.
But I'm conflicted because I think of something like God, and I think of how religions call it, like God is the Father, and we're supposed to fear God. And even in my head, like the fact that God has a gender makes no sense to me. I think of it as a spiritual thing. So I'm wondering what you define God. I think God is everything good in the world. God is love. God is the connection between people. Is that what you think too?
Okay, I don't know how many times, I mean, you guys see my debates. I've debated hundreds of times, thousands of times, because I don't have them on video, but I don't know how many times people have said God is love. No, we already have a word for that. It's love. If God is love, then love is nothing more than an expression of your emotions. But no, you're trying to say it's more than that. You're trying to say it's some sort of being. But you just said it's a love. So what are we talking about? Like, you can't even define the word. So SNEAKO, you're asking Tristan, what is a God? And now you're telling them what you think it is. but what you think it is doesn't make any sense. Do you really think Tristan is going to have an answer? Do you really think so? He's got all this money, all these cars. He doesn't have your answer. You know how you're going to find your answer? Probably from reading some books. I would read books by Sam Harris. Very good writer. Met him. Very nice guy. I've met Christopher Hitchens. Very nice guy. I have a picture of myself on... Can you now hear me? Hello? Are you saying I'm muted? What's up? Can you hear me okay? Sorry, someone just said muted. Okay, great. You heard me. Okay, I don't know why someone said muted. All right, so, yes. So you want to read books like from Christopher Hitchens and Sam Harris, Richard Dawkins, Dan Barker. You know, read some of these books. They're freely available on Amazon. Tristan, how much money do you have? You can't go jump on Amazon and grab some books and feed your brain? You're just going to sit there talking about your feelings and what you decided to believe in? You're not actually going to conquer your beliefs with some good education? What message are you sending the world by telling them your feelings matter? Isn't that the same avenue that people take when they say they're going to change genders? I feel this way. I feel that way. How are you any better than them? How? I thought you were rich and powerful. I thought you can come to conclusions based on good logic and reason. Isn't that what you always say you should do? I saw you in your little Survivor Island thing where you wanted to take action while other people sat around. And I looked up to that. I like that about you. I wish I had half your drive and ability to do that well, to be successful. Why can't you apply some of that right now? Because I'm telling you you're wrong. I am telling you you're wrong. And you cannot defend yourself. You cannot use logic and reason to defend your position. All you're both talking about are your feelings. Your feelings don't matter when we try to figure out if something exists or not.
God is powerful.
Oh, look. Oh, I'm going to go ahead and try to define what a God is. Let's see, what should I do? Oh, I'm just going to say it's powerful. What the... My dick is powerful. What is that telling us, bro? What?
And I know that a lot of people watching this will be atheists.
Yup. It's me. No purple hair. Actually, very little hair. I shave it. I never had an abortion. I'm not a pedo. What else? What else am I supposed to have wrong with me? Well, tell me. Because last time I checked, atheist is just someone who's without belief in a God. Right? He doesn't. Tina, he doesn't. He doesn't have any idea. Neither one of these two guys are. You know what? Are they just pandering to their subscribership? To their base? Is that what they're doing? Is that what this is all about? I wonder if either one of you is an atheist and you're just doing this to pander to your base. Are you guys worried about losing subscribers? Is that what that is? But Tristan, you and Andrew rich as hell. Why would you need to... Do you really think... Is it because you want to get out to your base? You want to support your base? I wonder if you're really an atheist. It reminds me of, you guys don't know how many preachers out there, church leaders who are atheists, but continue to do their job because they don't want to lose their job. There's some sort of site out there where you can anonymously go on there and talk to other church people who are the same way, right? They don't want. I wonder, are these guys? Do they really not know how to think properly? Or are they just pandering to their base? Like, I don't know. You guys tell me. I'm not sure.
So I don't want to tell anyone what to believe in.
But you are telling people what to believe. You're telling people that you believe in a God. You have no idea what it is. and that it's okay for other people to believe in a God. That's the message you give out to people. Okay? You're telling people not to use logic and reason correctly. Right? Now, how many areas of your life does this spill over into? Right? Do you really think that somehow if you think like this, that your other areas of life are not affected? Right? When you go talk about men's rights or other things that are wrong with this world, which I want you to do, how much logic and reason are you applying there? Are you applying enough? Maybe you're not. And let's just say that you think you're awesome. Let's just say Tristan, let's just say that you think you're awesome, and that in no way is your inability to apply logic and reason in this area of your life going to affect other areas of your life. Let's go on the limb and just say that you're just one badass, and you compartmentalize that and just use it in this one. You just give up logic in this one area of your life. Let's just say you do that. You're telling other people it's okay to do this. Do other people have the ability? Let's just say you have that magical ability. Do you really think other people will? When you tell people not to think properly, that it's okay not to think properly, do you think that they're going to be able to do the same thing? How many areas of their life is it going to spill over into?
I don't really want to talk about my own personal religious convictions that
But you are, and we're listening, and they're bad.
much. So let me just give a message to any atheists out there, or let me give a message to my previous atheist self. I would certainly say this. God is powerful.
Again, didn't he just say that? Am I the only one hearing this? Are you so out of words of defining what the heck we're talking about that you're just going to say the word powerful and, throw that pipe around like it's going to do anything? Really?
God is absolutely and ultimately powerful. And
Oh, he's not just powerful, he's absolutely and ultimately powerful. What the hell are you talking about? So is my dick. I can have a woman tell you that it's true. Does that mean it's true? What does it mean when you say that? I don't understand. How are you answering the question? Do you know what you're talking about?
whether he is real or not,
which is very important.
before you start looking into what God is, and
No, we should know what a God is first, because we need to do that before we know when it exists, right? Because if we're going to say when it exists, that means we have to know an idea of what we're talking about in the first place.
trying to find God, look at the power of God. Look at how God influences societies.
No, people influence society based on their beliefs, based on their culture. Okay? For you to go say that a God has done that, how can you say that if you can't even tell us what a God is? See, he's trying to reverse stuff. No, you don't look at the way people behave and assume a God did that. You've got to look to see what a God is first, then you can know whether it had any effect over what people did. But he's not being scientific. He's not using logic and reason. You'll never read a book on this, will you, Tristan? How about you, SNEAKO? You're not an idiot. You're still impressionable. You ask questions like you want to know. Are you going to read something?
Influences people.
Oh, LO. I would debate both of these, but they don't want that. They don't want to debate this. They just want to continue on, and I love their messages. I love what they're trying to do and get out there for the most part. I think they're great. I would be with them on a podcast. I would hang out with them. I'd be part of their little circle. I would. But I would be the one to ground them. Right? Because not just religion, other topics, I would make sure the homework was done and that we know what we're talking about. Because that's who I am. I want to know the truth. You guys just see me preaching, or not preaching, handling preachers on here and stuff, because that's something that I can easily get at. But I apply this type of skepticism to everything, and I make sure what we're talking about is truthful and honest. Why are you guys not doing that? You're expending all your energy on these little podcasts and everything. Why aren't you trying to be more accurate? I just don't understand. This is 2022. We should be. You guys keep talking about the system this, the system that. I'm all against breaking the system. But the system is using religion to control you, to control us, to pin people against other people. If we didn't have all these religions out there, we'd be much more compatible with each other. And I can't tell you how many times I've dated a girl and I couldn't continue because I wasn't religious and she was of some sort of religion. I can't tell you how many times it separates other people. I see it all the time, religion separating people. And they can't be together. That's no way to live life. Hey guys, let me read your stuff here. The Bible is a book too. Yeah, the Bible is a book, but it's not very good at giving them the information they need. Yes, I hear you. It's because I question this topic. You're right. I will probably never be a part of their clique. I'll probably not have enough followers for them to really give a rat's ass. That's fine. But at least I care about the truth. And I can sit here and say I care about the truth and show that I care about the truth.
Creates better people. God's power is certainly real within all of us.
What does that even mean? God's power is real within all. Metaphoric means absolutely nothing. It doesn't tell us anything about what a God is. Jack. Nothing. Nothing, Tristan. You're just taking stuff out of your butt and you're putting it in front of the microphone. Here you go. Here you go. Here's some more empty air. Here you go.
If you let it in. And
I
don't want to talk about my own personal religious convictions too
But you just did.
much. But yeah, God is powerful and God very much is real, whether you want to believe in him or not.
Oh, really? Whether you want to believe in him or not. Okay. God, I wrote a few thoughts here. He says, you can't even define it whether you believe it or not. And he says, because I've seen it, right?
Because I've seen it.
Because he's seen it. Because he's seen it. What has he seen? People's behaviors. Purple hair, pedophiles, abortion. That's enough to convince him. Boy, I can just imagine if he actually read a book and read about all the past wars and people killed because of religion. Will you then come back to atheism, Tristan? If you actually read a few books and learned about history? Have you thought about reading about history, Tristan? Because if you did, by your logic, due to your feelings, you'll then become an atheist again. Right? Nothing atheists are doing today is anywhere as horrible as what religion has done. And actually continues to do. I know, right, Tina? Like, they're so confident, and they have no effing clue.
It's probably
That's all I can tell.
the best way to raise a child is with some sort of religious morals.
No, there are no morals in religion, SNEAKO. Remember, I told you just now. They steal credit of morality and ethics from the populace, and they try to say that it came from them. And people are gullible and ignorant, like you two seem to be on this topic, and you buy into it because you don't question it. You don't use critical thinking skills. You're not reading books by Sam Harris, Christopher Hitchens, Richard Dawkins, Dan Barker. You're not reading any of these books. Because if you did, you realize, oops, I made a mistake. I wonder, if either of you read, would you actually admit a change in your belief? If you read and realized where you're wrong, would either of you be able to come on the video, on a podcast or a stream, and say, I have read this book, I saw this Ted the Atheist video, I've read this book or two, I've realized that I've not been using logic correctly. I've not been looking at the actual topic at hand. I was wrong. I'm not a believer nor I'm an atheist. Would you do that if that came true, or would you not, because you've already established yourself as someone who belongs to a particular religion, and you don't want to upset not only your base, but the people who you plan on interacting with, who you think also believe? Are you afraid of learning and changing? Because I'm not. Like, anything I believe in that I'm wrong about, tell me, and by tomorrow I'll stop believing in it. I might try to argue against it today, but tomorrow, by the time I wake up in the morning, I would have given it so much thought and done enough homework to where I could say I don't believe in this thing anymore. Can you two do that? And I can still come on here and preach about men's rights, about the freedoms that we need, about, what's going on in the world, the Matrix. I can talk about all of those things and really mean it, and I can be just as impactful as you in my speech and in my videos. And I'm going to do it without purple hair. I'm going to do it without having an abortion on this table. I'm going to do it without having little kids around here because you think that we're all pedophiles. I can do it with logic and reason, and with the curiosity and with motivation. So guys, let me read your stuff real quick here. Zach, he says, I also think that it's not the book you read matters, but how you read it and how you're capable of relating to reality. Yeah, well, they're going to have to read it, and they're going to have to read some of the books I mentioned and actually be open to understanding. Because I don't think they want to come across, SNEAKO and Tristan, I'm speaking to you. I don't think you want to come across as people who are closed-minded. You want to be progressive. You want to show people that you are capable of moving with the times and that you are the cutting edge and you're being edgy for good reason and you're conquering the topics that need to be conquered. I think you really do want to do that, and you want to be successful at that. I'm asking both of you to read some stuff. This is not rocket science. I'm not a genius. I just read and I understand stuff and this stuff I care about. Religion took morality from the populace. Yes, Lash. Religion did not create morality. They took credit from it. We are the makers of morality, right? Mankind does it, and we get better with it over time. It increases in value. It becomes more effective. It becomes more refined as we get older, right? As we grow more as a species, right? Religion has always tried to take credit from that, and they've always failed. Well, not always. People actually believe that religion. This is why these two right here think religion is necessary, because they think that religion is the one bestowing the morality and ethics. When they're wrong, it's the people doing it. Do you really think that either one of these people would go start murdering people if they didn't have religion? I mean, how many times have you heard people say, well, I'm a good person because I have this God. I belong to this, church, or I read this Bible, right? Let's just say she's your neighbor and she says this. Oh, do you really think if she did some research and stopped believing in that stuff that she'd automatically become a mass murderer? Or she would think, no, because her morality is independent from the imaginary friends that she has in her head, right? But these two people, SNEAKO and Tristan Tate, and Andrew Tate, they don't understand that, which is why they never applied critical thinking to this area of their life. They didn't. Not successfully, or they would both be atheists, right? So right now, I am showing that they are wrong about something in life, right? This is very important because not only are you going about questions and trying to find answers incorrectly, you're telling other people that it's okay to be wrong as well. You're telling them how to think improperly. I'm trying to give you tools on how to do better. Yes. Oh, hey, LL, thanks for stopping by anyways. I really appreciate it. Tina, if you need religion tell you to be a good person, then you never were a good person. Well, Tina, you could have been a druggie, I guess, and you didn't know, or just not have a good father in your life. Because having a good father teaches you all about how to do better in life. you know, maybe you just didn't know. I mean, I guess that's true. Lash, to some degree that is true. Morality is a product of human nature and social practices, but religion is also a social practice that has some influence. Of course, religion has influence in how we think morally. I don't disagree with that, Lash. I think religion can deliver morality, but that morality came from mankind. It didn't manifest from inside religion, is what I'm saying. Mankind had that morality, and it took it, tried to take credit for it as well, and it's trying to spread it, but it's sending bad information along with it. It's trying to tell you that you should believe in a God when there's no reason. It's trying to teach you to have imaginary friends and not how to think properly, right? It might be given some of that morality, but it's also giving evil, crappy stuff with it that you should not buy into. These guys, I can't tell you how awesome Tristan and Andrew would be if they both were atheists. I couldn't tell you how much more I'd be supportive of their ways. That's the only thing I object to. Don't have an issue with everything that I've seen so far. I really have no issue. I like how they're especially Andrew, maybe Tristan does, talking about all the struggles men go through, which really needs serious. But yeah, religion and I guess abortion too. They really should not be against abortion, and I gave a reason for that in my last video. I can say it again this one if you guys want me to. Yeah, that's correct, Tina. Let's continue a little more.
But I just personally ask you that if you want to talk about something else, but I just personally ask about that because that's the same reason that I try to follow. I just see all the good that it does, and I acknowledge that as the right thing to follow, but I still struggle trying to find some sense of what is this really? What is God?
Exactly. SNEAKO, you're always going to have that problem. It will never go away. Always. You'll always have that problem. And you think it's because you just don't know enough about what someone else believes. So you're talking to Tristan. But you don't know. You never will. Because it's not something that can be known. Because it was pulled out of our butt. Hundreds of thousands of years ago, God was pulled out of our butt and placed on a plate and served it up. Oh, look. Now that we can communicate and have language, let's say a God did it. Yeah, that'd be so great. Let's do that. That'd be wonderful. No, it's bad. You're always going to be without an answer. Until you educate yourself and realize that God is just a word we made up and it means nothing, refers to nothing, has no basis for believing. Until you read books that I've suggested, Sam Harris, Christopher Hitchens, Richard Dawkins, Dan Barker, until you read a lot of those books, you're going to be constantly asking these questions. You're going to be in this lost little land, right? And how is that going to benefit you? Wouldn't you rather be educated? Wouldn't you rather know what you believe, what's true and what's not? Wouldn't you like to get rid of uncertainty? If you don't read a book, it's not that you're afraid of the book. It's that you're afraid of thinking. Tristan Tate, Andrew Tate, SNEAKO, are you gentlemen afraid of thinking? Because if you don't read a book that I've suggested, you are afraid of thinking. Because the dribble that's coming out of your mouth on this topic tells me that you've never done your homework. You've never read anything I've just suggested. And you want to claim like you're on the edge, able to direct people a way forward? To think better? To be better people? To be better men? You want to be a better man? The Tate brothers? You want to say that? Teach them how to think properly. Teach them how to move forward, how to tackle each topic. Using logic and reason, getting to the you want to talk about something is real or not? Talk about that thing. Don't talk about your feelings. Right? That's something someone who wants multiple pronouns is going to do. Who thinks they have multiple, more than two genders out there. They use their feelings. How are you? You're just as much a pussy as they are in this aspect of your life. I've got mad respect for both of you and for both you Tate brothers On all the other topics, you conquer. I'm out of respect. I love you for that. I'm complete supporter. Please do not ban me from dialogue or from considering having a conversation with. Completely support you guys in almost everything else you talk about. But you need a little help in this area of your life. And if it's affecting this area of your life, it's affecting other areas of your life. I care about the message you're giving, which is one of the main reasons why I'm doing a video like this. Because I want you to be successful. Let me read some comments here. Zach, but when you say you believe in science, isn't that the same as someone who says believe in Jesus? No, because the word science, Zach, means a knowledge. Okay? It means what we know, what mankind knows. That's what science means. It's to know. It means to know. It's based on our knowledge. That's what the scientific method does. It attempts to replicate something that we think we know. That's why it's so much. See, religion and science are different. Religion was a failed way of going about understanding the world. Because what was religion? Religion starts with conclusions and tries to find evidence and support, right? Science looks at the evidence and makes conclusions based off that evidence. So it's totally opposite. Religion is not a way we should be going about trying to understand the world. It's failed, and it needs to be educated out of society. All theistically based religion needs to be gone. Done. Gone. I'm not saying harm people. No. Just need to educate the religion out of society. Okay? It's not people we need to get rid of. It's religion, okay? Please don't misinterpret that. What do you think of Darth Dawkins? Oh, I did watch a portion of his video there. I can't pronounce that. Yeah, he's just a lot of gibberish. I saw him debate somebody, and he just went around in a circle. So, yeah, I don't think I'll ever bother with that guy. Yeah, pronouns. Zach, okay. Since you don't know what scientists know. Hey, Zach, let me answer that. Sorry. Don't know what scientists know. Here's the deal. When a scientist makes a conclusion, he's going to give you the steps you need to replicate, and you need to go over in order to replicate what he's done. That's something religion doesn't do, right? Because they just start with a BS conclusion they pulled out of their butt. They have nothing to go by. A scientist is going to give you the steps you can replicate to go over and verify that's true. That's why peer review stuff is a thing. Experience is pure knowledge, not a book. Okay, whatever. Need to educate themselves on more rational. Yes. Thanks, Enraged. All right. I think this is almost done in this section. Let's see.
But
yeah,
I understand.
Yeah, it's a tricky question. For me, I'm a Christian. I have a massive Muslim fan base, and I have a lot of young Muslim kids who follow me and ask me for advice, etc. And what I always say to them is this, and I mean this with all of my heart. I know Muslim religious scholars, and I am not one. I respect Islam massively.
Oh, he respects Islam massively. Why? Why don't you respect atheism massively? Right? Oh.
But if you want to learn about Islam, or if you want to follow Islam, I am not your hero, because I'm not actually a Muslim. I respect the fuck out of you. Let me handle with the...
He respects the fuck out of you. Unless you're an atheist, then you're a piece of shit, apparently.
Let me handle the people who dislike Islam. Let me talk to the Christians and the Jews and the atheists who dislike Islam and talk them round. If you want information on your own religion and people to follow, there are millions, thousands, hundreds of thousands of Islamic scholars who know much more than me, who can educate you on your religion much better than me. I'm a Christian, I follow Christianity.
But none of them can tell you what a God is and why you should believe in one. Tristan.
And I'd rather people ask me about that. But, you know, I love Islam, I love Christianity, and it's... atheism sucks. Atheism's for nerds.
Atheism sucks. Atheism is for nerds. That's what Tristan just said. What is a nerd? Let's look that up. Nerd. A foolish or contemptible person who lacks social skills or is boringly studious. Or someone who engaged in or discussed a technical field obsessively or with great attention to detail. So obviously he meant it in a very negative manner. Let's go over again.
Yeah.
I love Islam. I love Christianity.
Did you notice the little smirk he had at the end? Like, I'm not a body language expert, but the smile, what does that mean? It means that he knows he's doing a dig, and he's trying. I mean, he seems serious about it. Whatever.
And it's atheism sucks. Atheism's for nerds.
Yeah, I don't want to be an atheist nerd anymore because that's when I feel I had no purpose, had no direction in life.
Purpose and direction is defined by the person. You don't need an imaginary friend to have purpose and direction. Okay, that's decided by each person. A religion is not going to give you that purpose or direction. Okay, you are. It comes from within.
And this has given me more purpose and more. I feel more alive.
He feels more alive because he has an imaginary friend who thinks created everything. I don't know. I bet you I feel just as alive as you do, SNEAKO.
Believing in God and believing in good.
Yeah, I agree.
So follow.
Okay, and that's it right there. They're done talking about that topic. Tristan's probably happy they're done talking about that topic. Hey, how about you do a little stream with me, Tristan? Why don't you read a book, either one of you, and do a stream with me? But I'm a nobody. I'm a brokey nobody. You never will. That's fine. Let's see, Eki. What about those who leave their religion? They are treated as garbage. That's correct. Remember, someone just told me the JWs treat you like garbage. And Islam, you can interpret that as you're supposed to kill the person who left the religion, right? They are treated as garbage, shunned because they have a different viewpoint than they had than THAN, my friend. Than they had because they did their own investigation. That's correct. People belittle what they don't understand. Right. I want these two to educate themselves in this area in their life. I want them to understand it better. I want their message to be more logical and reasonable. And it will be if they do this. They'll probably never watch my video. I only have 13K subscribers. They probably never care. I have no sponsors. Probably never will. Who knows? But what I'm saying is true. That they are wrong. And I'm showing how they are wrong. Will they ever? I don't understand. Like, I'm going to put myself in their position. Let's say I've got like 1 million followers. And I talk about, what's important, and talking about, men are going through or the topics that matter in the world. Let's just say I'm doing that. And then I found people talking trash about me because, the Tate brothers said that they go online and they see all the trash talk. They see the clips people take of them and throw them out of context and slander them. I don't think I'm doing that. I didn't pull anything out of context. I took the clip from before they started talking about a God thing to after they were done talking about the God thing. I put the video in there. I gave the timestamp of when I started. So I did not quote anyone, incorrectly. So they say they go on there and see them. So chances are, with the title I've given this, there's a small chance that maybe they will see my video. Will they care about it? Probably not. Because like one of you just said here, they don't really care to look into it. But if, back to my example, if I had 1 million followers and I saw someone's video that mentioned me, I would be interested. I'd be like, okay, how did this person destroy me? Why did they put the word destroy in their thing here? Let's go take a look. Like I was ready to, tear up something. Obviously, they probably just took something out of context and they're probably saying something really mean about me, and I would go in and watch it. And then I saw that they started talking about something that I'm wrong about. I'm pretty sure I would listen, right? Because this is not a video, Tate brothers, that someone's taken out of context. I'm taking a particular topic that you're preaching to the world, and I'm showing you how you're wrong. I'm showing you that you haven't done your homework, right? Just takes a couple of books. You guys have the money to order from Amazon. You can read, you've got time in the day. Why not read this and then we can have a discussion after? It's not difficult. Thank you, Tina. Really appreciate it. You're awesome. Really. Hey, Yunky. So I wrote up some more things here that I wanted to make sure I covered. Some thoughts I had on Notepad++ here. I want to make sure I get them out because, sometimes when you watch something, you get. I'm not 100% comfortable with the camera yet, so you might see me mess up some words or lose my train of thought because I have issues apparently. Let's see. Thank you, Tina. I'm gonna go buy coffee with that after this. What does that have to mean? What does it means? Nothing. Okay. Yeah, I was just gonna emphasize on how Tristan kept saying that God is powerful and absolutely ultimately powerful, and how that doesn't really tell us anything. Like, he is spending time in his day. He is using his brain cells. He is using the breath from his lungs. He's using time on a stream video to tell us the words, God is powerful. God is ultimately and absolutely powerful. Like, he spent time doing that. Literally time. What did any of you get out of that? I mean, if you said that God is a kangaroo that lives in Utah in a certain city under a certain cave, inside a cave, I'd be like, wow, oh, that's okay, now he's saying something. But when you use powerful and ultimately and absolutely, that's like saying higher. That's like a religious person saying, I believe in a higher power or something greater than me. I mean, those are filler words. You use them in place in order to hide your ignorance, but they expose your ignorance when you use them. So you're using those pretty words to try to sound like you know what you're talking about, but they do the opposite. They show that you don't know what you're talking about. And how are you a good instructor for men in the world if you're going to lie to them? You're going to sit there and lie to millions of people, teach them how to think in an ignorant and gullible fashion. How is that respectful? I love all your other work. I do. But this is downright disrespectful. It's ignorant. It's shameful. It tells me that you only look at certain areas of your life to improve yourself on and not. I'm telling you wrong. Now that you heard it, you should do something about it. Hey, Unky. I don't know how long I've been doing this for. Hey, Lynn. Thank you so much, man. Trust in the light of possibility, and you can be freed from gravity of insecurity. Then you can get into the Gundam. Pew, 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 pew. Yes. Video games. I just played some video games. Tristan, are you mad at me? Let's see. Tina, thank you for saying you're glad I'm back. I really appreciate seeing you. Eki, it's funny that I could be an alien race who, with technology is far, far superior to our own, yet they are considered gods. Well, that's one thing, We know things are flying around our planet. The government has acknowledged it. The Navy has acknowledged it. The fighter pilots have acknowledged it. We have video evidence of these things. Stuff is flying around. The technology is way better than ours. Bob Lazar has told us all about it. They work on gravity. I mean, yeah, stuff is magical compared to what we can do. And I can't wait till we even know more about it, because I'm big on that stuff. It's okay to acknowledge reality, acknowledge aliens, because what are we? We're potential aliens to other intelligent life out there, right? So if we can exist, then others can exist on other planets, and they would be aliens to us. So it's really not difficult to grasp. I'll tell you what is difficult to grasp is God thing with magic powers. Unless you're talking about someone who coded a universe and is a programmer, now I might buy into it a little more. Lash, gods do not equal God. No, God, the Christian God is just another God. It's just, I never like to use the Christian God, use the capital G, because it's just another God, so I lowercase it. Because that's in the context in which I'm talking about. See, anything else I wanted to discuss, I wrote on my notepad here. Yeah, SNEAKO says the best way to raise a child is with religious morals. No, just good morals. You don't need religion for that. Okay. What is this? Tristan is Christian, but he respects Islam a lot. So, if you guys want to fight against the establishment, Tristan and SNEAKO and Andrew, why not do it with logic and reason? Don't you think religion stands in your way? Like, how is that helping anybody? It's not. It divides us. It separates us. Religion is used as... What about 9/11? I mean, if they didn't believe in Islam, it was just a bad career move, right? Why did they do that? They did that because we invaded their country and wouldn't leave, right? Which is why they did that. And then they got the people who would be motivated to be able to fly those planes, using religion to motivate them. Sure, it was based on things we've done wrong in other countries that we probably shouldn't have done. But religion was used to carry on those attacks. Right? Is Islam still great? Because according to you, Tristan, just someone having purple hair and wanting abortion is enough for you to stop being an atheist. How about those 3,000 people killed? I don't know. Unky, I really wanted to tackle this. I might. What's a nerd, Tristan? Is a nerd someone who doesn't produce anything fruitful? Or are you going to peddle... If you responded to this, Tristan, would you pedal back and try to make your words less harmful? I mean, not harmful, because I'm not harmed, okay? I'm not like these leftists. I'm not a leftist, by the way, Tristan, Andrew, and SNEAKO. I'm not a leftist. I'm not a right. I'm in the middle. I'm a moderate. I have a gun. Okay, I think religion is BS. I think that the pronoun stuff is retarded. On the other hand, for Medicare for all, I think this country would be a lot better if we had public option. I am an atheist because I purge myself. This is something that you guys do not do. You do not purge yourself of sacred beliefs. Right? You hold things sacred. You hold these beliefs sacred. You don't purge yourself of them. That's your problem. That's what you're not doing. And I know I'm right about this. And you can ignore it. You can pretend you've never seen this video when you probably have. You're probably watching it right now on 1.2 speed or 5 speed or whatever you're doing. But I know I'm right on this. And I know you haven't read the books that I suggested by the authors I suggested. Because if you did, you'd be speaking like you're more knowledgeable than you are. You're talking about something you know absolutely nothing about. You know the religious side of it, but the religious side is the ignorant side. Because it doesn't tell you what it is you believe in. You can't even answer the question. You didn't even know that you need to. Let me read comments here real quick. Okay. All right. What else do I want to cover? Um, Sneeko, I'd really like to know what you mean when you say you feel more alive. Like, what's wrong with life that you need to have an imaginary friend to be more alive? Like, what does that mean? Seriously, I am interested. It's not just a BS question I'm asking. You know, you guys, Sneeko, you especially, you cut up stuff and look at it for its value, right? You try to find a good clip out there and play it and make fun of it. No-name people. I'm slightly higher than a no-name person, right? So why not take a moment and let's tackle this together? Why don't you tell me you're going to read a book and that you're being open-minded and you're still trying to find the answers? Why don't you do that? Do you want to know how many points you'd win? Do you want to know how much more respect you would be deserving of? That's fine, man. If you don't like Dawkins, just... Okay, how about this? Read Sam Harris. Mad love for Sam Harris. Great work. I like Dan Barker's book, Losing Faith in Faith, but I do like a lot of Sam Harris's books. Very good. So just read some Sam Harris books, all of you. All of you mean Sneeko, Tristan, and Andrew Tate. Okay, yeah. So I was going to end here with... I'm just going to reiterate, because that's how I ended my Notepad++ page here, because I pretty much went over everything else. Oh, abortion. You guys are against abortions. I kind of want to touch on that first, because you guys have an issue with it, and I don't think you should. And I said this before in my other streams, and I want to say it again. Abortion is okay. You should be fine with abortion. There's nothing wrong with abortion. The only reason you have something wrong with abortion is if you're religious and you think something about souls or whatever. I mean, I guess there are some atheist, anti-abortion people out there, but technically it should be okay with it, because you can't give a fetus rights that your already born person doesn't have. You can't, that no one else has. You can't. And you're doing that by wishing abortion was banned. Right? Because my example I gave in my other video was, if someone was dying and your blood was the only blood, it was special blood, which people do have and have given blood before to save others. If this is a real world example, if this guy gave lots of blood all the time to help all the people who needed it, I mean, he went out of his way and he saved a lot of lives. If he didn't do that, a lot of people would not have continued their life. They would have died. So he has all the support from people. But if he chose not to do it, guess what? He would just continue to go to work every day, live his life, and he wouldn't care. And the state would not be able to make him give blood. Right? And people would have died who otherwise didn't have to. Right? It is his choice. I can guarantee you there are people out there who have the special blood and are not forced to give blood. Do you think it's fair to be forced to give blood? Let's say you had special blood. Do you think it's fair for this state to yank blood out of you every week or every other week so you save people's lives? I mean, granted, you might say, hey, I want to, but do you think it's fair for them to make you? Because that's pretty much what you're saying. You're saying that you don't want freedom of your own body when you say abortions. It's the same thing. And when you give blood, when you go to save someone, when you you need initial and continued consent to do that, to finish giving blood. Just like to have a baby, you need initial and continued consent in order to have that baby. It's the same thing. You can't... That's just... We're not short on people. Stop worrying about potentials and think about the actuals who are already here, who've already born, who need things, right? So I just want to touch on that because, you know, I don't know. I'm big on abortion because of that, but also I think I'm also big on men having reproductive rights because we don't have any right now. I think if a woman has a child without a man's consent, then he should not have to pay child support. Like, he'll need to consent. I think child support should be opt-in. And if he never consented, then he never pays. And he can still be part of the child's life. It just, he can do it without the threat of the state going after him. And I think that's better. That's healthier for the family. Even if they're apart, he can still be part of their life without having to worry about anything. And you know he's there because he wants to be, not because of some threats or something like that. Worry about going to jail. Because people are going to jail for not paying child support here in America. Hey, Tina, I do agree abortion shouldn't be a form of birth control just used often, but if you have to use it, you do. It's really just them doing it. It's like their business. So whatever they want to do. It messes up your body, I'm sure. So I suggest people don't really do that often. But if you do and you mess up your body, you can't have kids anymore, that's really on you, right? So I agree that, yeah. Yes, I agree. Yes, of course, Tina. Yeah, Lash, I don't know about the morality book. I'm talking about his letter to Christian Nation and stuff like that. All right. Hey, Lash, if you don't like Sam Harris either, who do you like, man? Then just go read Dan Barker, Losing Faith in Faith. It's a great introductory book for people who have imaginary friends like you guys do. The Tates and SNEAKO. Or SNEAKO. SNEAKO, I'm not really convinced that you believe in a God. I think you just say that because Tristan's on here. I think you're on the fence. So I think you'll benefit the most from reading. Okay, so I just want to finish with my last two little paragraphs here. It's kind of a reiteration from the stuff I already said with Tristan and SNEAKO. I just want to say that I want both of you to be very successful and reach a lot of men, a lot of people. I do. But you should do it the right way. You should approach it with the utmost amount of integrity. That's what you both need in this area of your life, integrity. Okay? When you try to solve problems by mixing fiction in with reality, your solutions will never, ever be the best way of handling the situation, right? In order to be able to form a conclusion, we have to base it on, what reality is, right? We can't really make a solution without knowing what we're dealing with. If you don't apply logic correctly in this area of your life, not only are you promoting ignorance and gullibility as well as bad logic to the populace, but you risk your completely and utterly ignorance and gullibility to infect other areas of your lives because you don't know how to apply logic correctly in this area of your life. But if you think you can stop that from happening, if you think, hey, I'm awesome, I can just be stupid in this area of my life. Okay, maybe I shouldn't use stupid. I can be ignorant and gullible in this area of my life. What about the people receiving your advice? Right? All these millions of people. Do you think they will have the same ability to do the same? No, right? You can't be assured of that. So why give bad information to begin with? And if you didn't know you were giving bad information until now, why don't you spend a little time, educate yourself, figure out why you're wrong, and then stop being wrong so your message is more beneficial to the populace. Because we want to give people the most accurate information, do we not? We want them to be successful. We want them to work hard. We want them to do things correctly. We want the society to act better and do better. We can only do that by acknowledging what's real and working with what we have and using logic and reason to get us there, right? You guys want to break away from the old way of doing things and doing things a more progressive, right way. Religion is old. It's not a good way of doing things. We need to get rid of that too. So that's pretty much all I had to say on this. It kind of irked me a big time, a big way. I wanted to get this out and comment on this. Clinical deduction next to nobody can be that way. Flow of reasoning. Yes, this is very true. Lash. People should read atheists to actually study theology and religion, not pop atheists. Dan Barker and Dennett seem okay. Well, Dan Barker was a preacher for almost 20 years, right? So he's always a good person to read. Lash, you're saying there are better like Mackey or Michael Martin. I actually don't know who they are. But if they present themselves in a way that religious people will be able to adapt better to, then I'm willing to look at their material. If you want to send, you can send me an email, TedTheAtheist@gmail.com. I read all my email. I read everything. I'm not inundated by emails or people trying to get a hold of me. I receive a very moderate amount of emails, very small. I even read the death threats. If people want to beat me up, it's cool. I read everything. I even respond to them. I made one guy my friend. Even though he wanted to beat me up. I think that'll ever happen. Please. Martial arts since I was 7 years old, son. Ex-military. Anti-hero. Yes, you say, but their entire reality will shatter. These guys here, their reality would not shatter. They just will see things differently. And it will be in such a good way that it will bring more positivity to their worldview. When you get rid of the gods and you really truly understand why you shouldn't believe in a god, you'll see the world more objectively and in a better manner. So you guys want to claim that you're atheists before, Tristan and Andrew and SNEAKO? You guys want to all say you used to be atheists, or at least Tristan and SNEAKO? You were never inoculated against the poison of religion and gods. You were never inoculated. So you never really felt what it should feel in that instance, and that's the freedom of mind. You don't have the freedom of mind. And that's a problem. But Lynn, the why we peddle incoherence mess is because insecurity makes our emotions congealed into the constipation of cognitive dissonance. Yeah, cognitive dissonance is a big thing. Most people chase high and flee low of emotion and imagination. It hinders communication between the factions that inevitably emerge of such a spiraling. Yeah. I don't know. Anyways, I hope you guys liked my stream here. I needed to cover this. I'll probably pick something else and cover something this evening. Perhaps. I'm going to go ride my EUC. Probably get some lunch. For all those wondering, this is not a paid advertisement. I ride EUC. It's called... What's this thing right here? This thing right here. It's called an electric unicycle. Mine is called the Sherman Max. I got it off ewheels.com. Great group of people on there. EUC is lots of fun. One thing, Tristan and Andrew, I'd really love to see you two ride in this thing. EUC, it's badass. I think you two would really love it. I can remember seeing Andrew once on one of those little scooters trying to act all badass. But I really think, just make sure you wear equipment, okay? Safety equipment, because very dangerous. I really want to see you two trying it out, because I think you guys would really like to go around, because you can take it on trails, on the street, put some armadillo in the tube so it doesn't go flat, and put a little. I can tell you what add-ons to get for it and stuff. And I think you guys would really love riding those things around. So you guys like to do stuff like that? I think it'd be a great little pastime for you guys. So I just see you guys as doing something like that. Lynn is just doing weird sound. Lynn has some good thoughts. Sometimes the way he puts them together, I don't always follow them, but sometimes I understand. He means well. People like him, Mackie, and Flu. Atheism today. Hey Lash, if you can send me an email to TedTheAtheist@gmail.com with maybe a link or two to get me to look at those people, I would really appreciate it. TedTheAtheist@gmail.com. Please. It'd be great. Hey, be nice to Lynn. Alright guys, I don't know if you guys want to talk about anything else, otherwise I'll just stop the stream. I gotta find a new topic later. Cool. That's cool. Alright guys. Stop it.